Michael Jordan in career, his whole career played 78 games a year. And that's not even counting the playoffs when you're playing, in the preseason. So you're talking about 115 games a year. That dude probably played in about 112 of those 115 games.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. There's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times.
End the debate, please. Here we go. 3 parts. One player has won the scoring title, regular season MVP, was first team defensive player, led the playoffs in scoring, and won the MVP in the finals. All 5 things. It's only happened 4 times in the NBA. You know who the 4 players who do it were? Jordan.
Michael never set out games. If Michael set out a game, he made sure he played at least 25 minutes so you saw him play. Whether it be preseason, he didn't miss any regular season games. But during preseason, where most stars sit out, he played.
We come to practice, he's on one leg. Like he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. And so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so you're like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit out? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit? I got to be there.
Stacey King knows something most people arguing on social media will never understand. He knows what championship level greatness actually looks like when you're standing right next to it every single day. King wasn't watching Jordan highlights on YouTube. He wasn't analyzing box scores from his couch. He was in the trenches winning 3 straight NBA titles with the most dominant force basketball has ever seen. He saw the practices that nobody filmed. He witnessed the mentality that cameras never captured, and after watching both eras play out, he's ready to end this conversation with facts that hit harder than any opinion ever could. Here's what King said that's got everyone talking.
So I'm not coming from a biased position where I'm just like, oh, that was my era, so I'm being biased. No, my eyes don't lie. I know what I've seen. And as great as LeBron is, and he's fantastic, but he ain't fucking with MJ. Just based off the eye test and the skill level and some of the stats and the heart. Nah, yo, no. I saw MJ play from his prime to his retirement. I saw Kobe play from his prime to his retirement. I've seen LeBron from his prime to his eventual retirement. How this young generation is so dismissive of this stat when they go, well, LeBron James has been to the finals this many, and he won this many times, but he's been this many times.
In 22 full seasons, LeBron James has achieved what Michael Jordan accomplished in just 13 years of active play. Let that sink in for a minute. We're not talking about a small gap here. LeBron needed nearly double the time to reach a level Jordan hit while taking 2 years off to swing baseball bats. That's not a debate. That's basic arithmetic. And when you start breaking down what that actually means for the greatest of all time discussion, the whole argument collapses under its own weight. Think about this from a pure efficiency standpoint. Jordan's 13 seasons produced 6 NBA championships. That's 1 championship roughly every 2 years of playing. LeBron's 22 seasons have produced 4 championships. That's 1 championship every 5.5 years. The difference is staggering when you put it like that. Jordan was winning titles at more than double the rate that LeBron has managed across his entire career. This isn't about disrespecting what LeBron has done. It's about recognizing that what Jordan did was on a completely different level of dominance. But championships are just the beginning of this efficiency breakdown. Jordan grabbed 6 Finals MVP awards in those 13 years. LeBron has 4 in 22 seasons. Jordan won 5 regular season MVPs. LeBron has 4. Jordan led the league in scoring 10 times. LeBron has done it once in over 2 decades. Jordan was named to the all-defensive first team 9 times. LeBron has made it 6 times. Every single major accomplishment you can name, Jordan achieved more of them in significantly less time. That's what peak dominance actually looks like. Dominance. Stacey King saw something else up close that people don't appreciate anymore. Jordan's commitment to showing up. We're living in an era where players sit out for rest, where load management is standard practice, where stars pick and choose which games matter enough to play. Jordan didn't operate in that world. King talks about how MJ played 78 games almost every single season. That's practically the whole schedule. He played through minor injuries. He played in preseason games when other superstars were resting. He played in small market cities during exhibitions because he understood that fans everywhere deserve to see him compete. The Bulls would travel to places like Lincoln, Nebraska for preseason games. Most superstars today won't even play in those games when they're in major cities, but Jordan suited up and gave those fans everything he had. King remembers the mentality behind it. Jordan felt a responsibility to the people paying money to watch basketball. He understood that his salary, his endorsements, his entire lifestyle came from fans who loved the game. So when he was healthy enough to play, he played. No excuses, no days off for minor issues, just pure commitment to the sport and the people who supported it. Compare that to modern basketball, where stars are sitting out back-to-back games, resting during regular season stretches. and basically treating 82 games like it's too much to ask. LeBron has had his share of rest days and missed games throughout his career. Again, this isn't about attacking anyone. It's about recognizing that Jordan's approach was different. His availability was part of what made him great. You knew MJ was going to be on that court unless something serious happened. That reliability, that consistency, that warrior mentality separated him from everyone else. Now here's a stat that genuinely ends discussions before they start. There's an achievement in basketball that represents total dominance. Winning the scoring title, regular season MVP, making first team all-defense, leading the playoffs in scoring, and winning finals MVP all in the same season. It shows you're the best offensive player, the best overall player, and elite defender, and the ultimate playoff performer all at once. Guess how many times this has happened in NBA history? 4 times. Guess who did it all 4 times? Michael Jordan. Not Magic, not Bird, not Kareem, not LeBron, just Jordan. 4 separate times he achieved complete basketball supremacy in a single season. That's not a debate topic. That's proof of a level nobody else has ever reached. LeBron supporters love bringing up finals appearances like it's the ultimate measuring stick. They'll say he's been to 10 finals compared to Jordan's 6. But here's what they're not telling you. Jordan won every single finals he entered. 6 attempts, 6 victories, 6 finals MVP awards. Perfect. Unblemished. LeBron has been to 10 and won 4. That means he's lost more finals series than he's won. Think about what that actually means. More failures on the biggest stage than successes. That's not GOAT material. That's falling short when everything is on the line. Jordan never gave opponents hope once the finals started. When Chicago punched their ticket to the championship round, it was basically over. Everyone knew MJ wasn't leaving without that trophy. The pressure never cracked him. The stage never got too big. 6 times the lights were brightest, and 6 times Jordan delivered. Not one Game 7, not one collapse, not one moment where he shrunk when his team needed him most. That's the mark of true greatness, showing up when there's nowhere to hide and no excuses to make. LeBron's finals record tells a different story. Dallas 2011 is forever stamped in history as one of the biggest collapses from a superstar we've ever seen. That was supposed to be his coronation. The super team in Miami with Wade and Bosh, the chosen one finally getting his ring. Instead, we watched him average 17 points per game in the finals and completely disappear when the Heat needed him. Jason Terry outscored him in that series. Jordan never had a moment like that. Not once in 6 finals appearances did we see him shrink from the moment. Stacey King watched Jordan's leadership style up close, and it shaped his entire understanding of what makes a champion. Jordan didn't just play alongside talented teammates. He forged them into winners through sheer force of will. The way he approached practice made everyone better. The standards he set made mediocrity impossible. Scottie Pippen developed into a Hall of Famer because Jordan pushed him beyond his comfort zone every single day. Dennis Rodman's rebounding became legendary because Jordan demanded excellence in every role. Steve Kerr hit championship-winning shots because Jordan created opportunities and trusted role players in massive moments. This is where LeBron's approach differs dramatically. LeBron has always needed established superstars already in their prime to win championships. In Miami, he joined forces with Dwayne Wade, who already had a ring, and Chris Bosh, who was an all-star. In Cleveland's second run, he needed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, who were both already elite players. In Los Angeles, Anthony Davis was already a superstar before they teamed up. LeBron doesn't take role players and mold them into champions. He needs ready-made all-stars just to compete for titles. Jordan never operated like that. He stayed in Chicago and turned whoever was on the roster into winners. He didn't call up other superstars and play in super teams. He made the players around him rise to his level through leadership and example. That's a fundamental difference in how they approach greatness. One built dynasties, the other assembled them from existing pieces. Their argument is something King has heard a million times, and it doesn't hold up under any scrutiny. People claim Jordan faced weaker competition in a less talented league. That's complete fiction. Jordan battled Magic Johnson and the Showtime Lakers. He went through Larry Bird's Celtics. He faced Hakeem Olajuwon's Rockets. He fought against Karl Malone and John Stockton's Jazz for multiple championships. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Clyde Drexler, all Hall of Fame level players in their prime. The competition was fierce and physical. The basketball Jordan played was also significantly harder than what we see today. Hand checking was legal. Defenders could body up offensive players and make them earn every single basket through contact. Flagrant fouls weren't called for slight bumps. Technical fouls weren't handed out for showing emotion. It was physical, brutal basketball where only the toughest survived. Jordan averaged 30 points per game for his career in that environment. If you dropped prime MJ into today's soft, spacing-focused, freedom of movement NBA, he'd probably score 40 per night. LeBron plays in the easiest era for offensive players the league has ever seen. The game has been redesigned to favor scorers. Barely touching someone can be a flagrant foul. Looking at a player wrong gets you a technical. The floor is spread wide open with shooters. And even with all these advantages designed to help offensive stars, LeBron still can't match Jordan's scoring dominance. 1 scoring title in 22 years versus Jordan's 10 scoring titles in 13 years. The numbers don't support any argument that LeBron is the better scorer or more dominant player. Let's talk about the cultural impact that King witnessed develop in real time. Jordan didn't just play basketball, he transformed global culture in a way no athlete before or since has managed. In those 13 years, Jordan became the most recognizable face on planet Earth. He turned the Chicago Bulls from a struggling franchise into the most famous sports team worldwide. He made basketball appointment viewing for people who didn't even like sports. His influence reached countries where basketball barely existed. The sneaker game tells the whole story. Jordan Brand still dominates the market over 20 years after MJ retired. His shoes outsell every current player's signature line combined. Kids today who never saw him play still rock Jordans. Because the brand he built transcended the sport entirely, that's cultural immortality, that's influence beyond measure. LeBron has been trying to reach that level of global impact for 22 years, and he's not even close. His shoes don't move like Jordan's. His brand doesn't carry the same weight. The cultural footprint isn't comparable. Space Jam captured Jordan's cultural reach perfectly. That movie introduced MJ to millions of kids worldwide who had never watched an NBA game. It turned him into a character, a legend, something bigger than sports. When LeBron tried to recreate that magic with his own Space Jam sequel, it fell completely flat. Nobody cared. It didn't capture anything close to the original's impact. You can't manufacture cultural dominance. It either happens naturally through genuine greatness or it doesn't happen at all. Clutch performance is another area where King saw the difference firsthand. Jordan in pressure moments was unstoppable. The shot over Craig Alo to beat Cleveland, the flu game where he could barely stand but still scored 38 and hit the game winner, the shrug game against Portland when he hit 6 threes and a half, that final shot over Brian Russell to win his 6th championship. These moments define what clutch actually means. When everything was on the line, when legends were being made, Jordan delivered every single time. LeBron has hit big shots too, but he's also disappeared when it mattered most. The 2011 Finals, Game 5 against the Mavericks, when he went invisible. Multiple playoff series where his teams fell short because he didn't do enough. When you're campaigning to be the greatest ever, those failures matter. Jordan never had series where people questioned his heart or effort. He never folded under championship pressure. That consistency in the biggest moments is what separates legends from all-time greats. King also points to Jordan's defensive dominance that gets overlooked in modern debates. MJ won Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. He made 9 all-defensive first teams. He led the league in steals 3 times. Jordan was a legitimate two-way force who could lock down the best offensive player on the other team while also being the best offensive player in the league. That's complete basketball excellence. LeBron has never won Defensive Player of the Year. He's never led the league in steals. His defensive reputation in later years has taken hits for lack of effort. The mental game is something King observed that people don't discuss enough. Jordan's psychological warfare was championship level on its own, the trash talk, the competitiveness in practice, the way he used any slight as motivation. Someone said he couldn't shoot threes, so he hit 6 in the first half of the finals. Someone questioned his leadership, so he won 6 championships as the undisputed alpha. Jordan turned everything into fuel for domination. His mind was as dangerous as his physical skills. LeBron's mental approach is different. When things go wrong, he posts cryptic messages on social media. He points at coaches or teammates. He looks for new situations that give him better chances to win. He's changed teams multiple times searching for the right pieces around him. That's not the mentality of someone who bends the league to his will. That's someone adapting to circumstances and hoping things work out. Jordan never team-hopped looking for easier paths. He stayed in Chicago and made them dynasty. Here's what Stacey King really wants people to understand. Greatness isn't about how long you play. It's about how completely you dominated during your peak years. Jordan reached a level of total control over the NBA that LeBron has spent 22 years chasing. 6 championships and 8 finals trips with 2 years playing baseball in between, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, perfect finals record, 9 all-defensive first-team selections, career average of 30.1 points per game, global icon status that nobody has matched. All of this accomplished before LeBron even entered the league. The longevity argument that LeBron fans lean on is actually a trap. Playing longer without achieving the same level of peak dominance just means you stretched average years across more seasons. Jordan could have played until he was 45 years old and chased every record in basketball history, but he didn't need to prove anything else. He accomplished everything that mattered and walked away on top. That's confidence. That's legacy secured. LeBron is still playing at 40, trying to add to his resume because deep down everyone knows the peak wasn't high enough to stand alone. Quality beats quantity every single time when we're talking about greatness. Jordan's 13-year peak produced more championships, more MVPs, more scoring titles, more complete dominance than LeBron's 22 years and counting. That's not an opinion. That's measurable fact. The math doesn't support any argument that longevity makes up for less peak dominance. 2 decades of very good doesn't beat 13 years of absolutely unstoppable. Stacey King doesn't even rank LeBron in his top 3 all time. He believes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, and Wilt Chamberlain all have stronger cases for the number 2 spot behind Jordan. That's coming from someone who won championships and played in that era. Kareem dominated for 2 decades with 6 rings and the scoring record. Kobe won 5 championships with that killer Mamba mentality. Wilt put up statistical achievements that still look impossible today. LeBron is fighting to stay in the top 5 conversation, while Jordan sits alone at number 1. The 2011 Finals is a stain on LeBron's legacy that won't wash away. That was his moment. The super team, the talent advantage, the stage set for his coronation, and he completely folded 8 points in a finals game, outscored by role players, disappeared when his team needed him. Jordan never had a series like that, not in college, not in the NBA, never. When the pressure was highest, when everything was on the line, Jordan showed up every single time. Everything King witnessed during those championship runs shaped his perspective on what true greatness looks like. The preparation Jordan put in, the standards he set for everyone, the way he approached every single game like his legacy depended on it. That level of commitment and excellence isn't something you debate. It's something you either achieved or you didn't. Jordan achieved it. He dominated completely, he won every time it mattered, and he did it all in 13 years. The GOAT debate shouldn't exist, it really shouldn't. Jordan proved everything that needed proving over a decade ago. He left the game as an undisputed champion with no questions left unanswered. The only reason we're still talking about this is because a new generation wants their guy to be the best ever, but wanting it doesn't make it true. Hoping doesn't change history, and no amount of longevity will ever equal Jordan's peak dominance. Michael Jordan conquered basketball in 13 years, 6 rings, perfect finals record, 10 scoring titles, 5 MVPs, global icon, cultural phenomenon, the greatest to ever do it. The math is simple, and Stacey King did the calculation. What took LeBron 22 years, Jordan finished in 13. Case closed. Debate over. The throne has 1 seat, and Jordan claimed it in 1998 when he hit that final shot and walked away untouchable. Everything else is just noise.